Welcome to round number one. I lied.
I did squats to prepare to stand up for this moment.
Okay. Welcome to round number one of our Socratic seminar. First one of the year, guys. Can science and religion coexist? Who's up first? First one I see right here.
I didn't really choose a stance yet, but from what I found, it says that the creationist asked, he claimed that Christianity gives a basis for rules and logic and order of nature, both of which are necessary for science. That means that is needed in order to further the process of going through science-related things.
I say science and religion can coexist, and the theory is both like do not contradict. It says it in first article, Darwin, Evolution and Faith. Right here, number 3. It says the theory of evolution and faith do not contradict each other. Many religious scholars and scientists have found ways to balance both beliefs. What this says is that science and religion coexist. Their beliefs do not contradict. They both work together. Disagree.
I disagree with you respectfully, Alistair, because in our research here on the first page, there's it clearly states that Darwin's biology tells a whole new story of creation. This story is different from religious creation stories such as those in the book of Genesis. So I do believe that they contradict each other.
I would like to support Janice's point. I don't believe that science and religion can coexist because they're on opposing scales. They're on opposing sides of the scale of belief. And from personal experience, where science offers viable and clearly originated ideas, religion is based almost entirely off of faith without reason. And I personally don't feel comfortable following something without knowing reason why. It leads to trouble.
I agree with scholars who say here in the Darwin evolution and faith that evolution and natural selection seem to eliminate the role of God in creating various species of life, and Darwin's theory assumes clear descended from non-human forms of life.
I would like to. I agree that science and religion can coexist because in the article, the Christian Post, it says, Ham also argued that science relies on Christian worldwide. That the universe came about by a natural process. Where did the laws of logic come from?
I agree with Hugo that science and religion can coexist because science can actually support religion. And for instance, according to the Christian Post article, Ken Ham, which is a Christian, he states that creation is the only viable model of historical science confirmed by observational science in today's modern scientific era, and also states that creationists argue that science supports his views of historical six-day creation as outlined in the first chapter of Genesis. So this states how a Christian belief, which is the six-day creation, which was on the Bible, was proven by science, and therefore that science and religion can coexist.
I agree with Jacob. I say that religion and science can coexist, but in their own ways. It may seem like they can't, but they can in their own ways. One specific example would be in the theory of evolution and the faith. God do not contradict each other. Many religious scholars and scientists have found ways to balance both beliefs. This evidence illustrates how both religion and science, two very different topics, came together to understand each other and what they think is right.
I would like to counter with this point.
I respectfully disagree with everybody who says religion and science can coexist. I say this because in the Christian Post, between an argument between Ken Ham and Bill Nye, and number 2, is Christianity necessary for science? In the second paragraph, Bill Nye says, if we abandon the process by which we know nature, if we stop driving forward, stop looking for the next answer to the next question, we in the United States will be outcompeted by other countries. Other economies, he declared, I am a patriot, so we have to embrace science education. To me, that quote, that part of this article is trying to say that we should leave religion behind and study more science so we can keep moving forward.
I would like to, yeah.
I would support you because science and religion cannot coexist because they contradict each other on so many levels. For example, in a Christian Post, Philmon says, why should we accept your word for it that natural law changed 3,000 years ago and we have no record of it? And it also says there are human traditions that go back far.
I would like to agree with Noah. Because according to the article Darwin, Evolution and Faith, creationisms are Christians and Muslims who consider their holy books to be the source of true science. They therefore reject Darwin's evolutionism as simply wrong. I feel like that's unjustifiable because Darwin's evolution has evidence behind it and you've got history lessons to follow it. And the Bible doesn't have as much evidence leaning towards creationism and its origins. And I feel like just dismissing an argument isn't fair.
I would like to state a question that I just read from this article. The Christian Post. It says, for example, what counts as an evidence for a scientific explanation versus a religion explanation? What would lead you to the revise of a scientific explanation versus the religion explanation? But it says right here, when we shift our focus to the practice of generation, evaluating, endorsing, and revising explanations, then I think the answer is no. Scientific and religious explanatory practices are not compatible. That's because it's a hallmark of scientific explanations that they're responsive to evidence, and as a result they can change over time. To the extent that religious explanations aren't similar to responsive to evidence, then there's a very basic incompatibility that won't be easy to reconcile. And I would like for Gustavo to answer this question for me.
Can you ask the question?
I want your opinion in what would lead you to revise a scientific explanation versus a religious explanation?
I would say that which page is it?
It's on the Christian Post, the back part of it, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, paragraph 4. Oh wait, paragraph 3 and 4.
Hugo, while you look for that, would you mind revising your question a little bit and see if we can put it in different words?
What would you lead your revise of a scientific explanation versus a religious explanation?
So you're asking him, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, say what you were saying.
So you're asking him to give, I think I'm just a little bit confused. You're asking him to give a scientific explanation of an origin story or a religious explanation?
Both.
You want him to give both. So you want to know where he stands on the topic. Okay,
Yes.
thank you. Does that help you out, Gustavo?
Yeah. So I think that on if this is a great, in the Christian Post, if this is great blood, green through Grand Canyon, there has any bread meat on every continent, so I think that was explain the
My stance on this would be that I think religion and science could coexist because of their similar ideas sometimes, or what, like, for example, according to the document Darwin, Evolution and Faith on page it states God creates this open universe through natural process rather than magic, and I think that what this is basically explaining is that science and religion could coexist, because yes, religion because they're what was I gonna say?
You're doing great, Mark. Keep it up.
That
Almost there.
the ideas.
I agree with whoever says that science and religion coexist. I disagree with the people that don't, because what you guys are saying is that science and religion can't coexist 100%. I understand. But right here, the same article that most of you guys got your evidence, it says it. The Christian Post also argued that science relies on Christian worldview. If the universe came about the natural process where the laws of logic came from the creationists, as he claimed, the Christians gives the basis for rules of logic of order nature. What it says is that 100% that religion and science cannot, they don't coexist 100%, but some of the beliefs do coexist.
I would like
to. I agree with Alistair of how science and religion can coexist, and I would like to add on how he states that there's some parts that they can't. Because according to the article on Darwin, evolution, and fate, and on the second page, it states, Anglican priest and theologian Charles Kingsley gave thanks to Darwin. He said Darwin's picture of the ingenious and creative evolution enlarged his understanding of the Creator. So this quote shows how it can they both can coexist, because a priest, which is someone who believes in God, had a better understanding of him because of Darwin's explanation about evolution.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. With 2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining, we have 1, 2, 3 people who I have not heard from yet. I would like to give these folks priority so that they can get their participation points.
I said science and religion cannot coexist because the evidence I found in Darwin's Evolution and Faith article on page 1, it said that evolution and natural selection seems to eliminate the role of God in creating the various species of life. So I thought that meant that God did not create this species, and they evolved from, humans evolved from other species, and that's what I got.
Thank you very much.
I agree with Jacob and Alistair that science and religion can coexist, because as it states in the NMPR article, it says science